Hey guys, welcome back. So I'm finally going to get a chance to get out this video that I've been meaning to put out. And the video is called Five Stocks That I Think Everyone Should Have in their long-term portfolio. Not named Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, Amazon, etc. These are, if you follow the market pretty hardcore, you've probably heard of most of these. But if you're not, if you're kind of more of a passive investor, I guess, some of these or all of these are going to be new to you. Um, so, um, that being said, you will see um, really two areas that these fall into. Um, Most of them fall into AI, and two of them fall into weight loss, diabetes, but really the weight loss portion of that. So, as far as the AI goes, you've probably heard this before as well. In the gold rush, it's not the gold diggers who got rich; it's those that sold the picks and the shovels. So you'll notice a bit of that uh, when we talk about some of the AI companies. We're gonna look to to really highlight those plays that are really going to make money either way, because they're the picks and the shovels, if you will. So, that being said, let's get right into it. And by the way, I did say this video is supposed to be five stocks. After some consideration, I threw in a sixth. So you get a bonus one. So let's jump into it. So first one I'm going to mention is probably one most of you are familiar with, TSM. So this stock has been under pressure lately. Um, Not only because of the AI bubble taking a little maybe a bubble, taking a little breather. Um, sorry, I'm sorry. One more thing I want to add. Just because I'm recommending these stocks to you right now, I'm not saying you need to go out and buy these today. Okay, a lot of these charts don't look great. Like I wouldn't go, oh, you need to go buy this right now. Actually, some of these I want to short in the short term, um, buy some puts on them. But that being said, we're not looking at these as short term plays. We're looking at these for as plays to hold on multi-year. I'll put it to you that way, multi-year plays. So the short term doesn't really matter as much. So you can for sure start a small position, if that's what you're looking to do in any of these stocks today, and slowly add to that position as time goes on. And again, you'd be looking at this as more of an investor's standpoint, not a trading in and out standpoint. So AI chips, you gotta know about TSM. So not only have they had to deal with all the AI kind of taking a breather, and tech taking a little bit of a breather, and I do mean a little bit, but there's also the geopolitical side of that, things with China and Taiwan and that whole situation. So TSM has been under a little pressure, but I think you have to have it in your portfolio regardless. Um, just taking a look at the weekly chart here, we're kind of towards the bottom of the channel that we've been trading in. MACD crossed down. We are headed down again. This isn't a stock I would be like running to buy here today, or this week. but it's a stock I wanted in my portfolio. Excuse me. Daily chart again. We're towards the bottom of the uptrend channel, that slight uptrend channel that we've been trading in. MACD kind of isn't really sure what to do here. And the RSI, there is some hidden bearish divergence. Um, it's a kind of a you know uh, wishy-washy chart, if you will. Um, Getting towards the support level here at 88.50. We're at the $90 support right now. We'll see if this holds. If not, it's down to 88. And again, we are same on the hourly trading a little bit of a downtrend. Um, MACD again really isn't sure what it wants to do. Um, so, I look to see what happens here. If this support holds, it could be a decent entry for TSM into a longer position. Um, but I would watch the hourly and look to see. Um, and if this holds, then we could be in line for a nice little rebound here. So we'll see what happens. But TSM, chips, semiconductors, they're going to be in everything. And TSM isn't going anywhere. Believe me, if we have issues with China, or to where it escalates to where it's a real problem, you have bigger issues than TSM stock. I'll put it to you that way. SMCI. So going back to AI and the metaverse, and some of you guys think the metaverse is a fad. You're really not wrapping your head around what the metaverse itself is. And I'm not talking about Meta's version of the metaverse. I'm talking about the metaverse as an idea of and what it's going to become. Um, you know, uh, you think of the metaverse as like the internet almost. It's not a company. It's a thing. It's this huge network, right? And the metaverse is going to be the same thing. And it's not a matter of if, but it's a matter of when. Okay, so you're going to need all this stuff. You're going to need chips, data centers. You're going to need all the infrastructure for this to exist. Um, so uh, this is why it's still quote unquote early to get into this, because there's so much growth um, that's going to come over these next 5, 10, and really decades upon. I mean, if you can understand what the metaverse, the potential it has, you would really, and if you do your DD, you can you can maybe get to where this thing is. It's just, I guess, kind of like the internet in the old days, right? Like if you would have said back in the day when the internet first came out and they had the computers first came out, and computers are these big old things, and you say, oh well, everybody's going to be walking around with one of those in their pocket, or they're going to be implanted in someone's head, like Neuralink type thing. People think you're crazy, but that's reality. That is the reality that we live in, and it is going to be the reality, whether you like it or not, that we are going to live in. So whether you like it or not, it doesn't really matter. Do you want to capitalize off it is the question. And if you do, this is how you do it. SMCI. What they do is they build the servers for these data centers, which are going to, everywhere. They have 250 of these in 90 different cities. Um, so they've got data centers everywhere. They're growing, and you need the infrastructure for this stuff, and you're going to need to continue to build the infrastructure for this stuff as it grows. So it's as simple as that, and um, the only question, I guess, is okay. Um, is it not? You have to ask yourself, okay, is this not going to be as big as we think? Is it not going to grow? And the answer is no. Like, no. It's just the speed it's going to happen at. So um, uh, this is why I think this is another one you have to have SMCI. They built the servers um, for all of the data centers um, that you're going to need for this infrastructure. Um, so looking at this stock, obviously, it's a little bit overextended on the weekly here, right? Daily chart met some resistance up here, 350. We're back down to 277. Excuse me. So we dropped a decent amount here. MACD crossed back in August. We're sort of trading in the middle of the channel here. Here on the hourly, um, not a whole lot happening. Um, Again, trade in the middle of the channel. As a long-term position, you can absolutely enter here. There's nothing, it's not like, oh, this is about to take off, or oh, this is about to completely tank either. So you can start to nibble here, and start a position if you want for SMCI. So Equinix. Equinix is actually whereas SMCI built the servers for the data centers, Equinix is the data centers. Um, Going back, I think I made a comment that SMCI had 90. Or I'm sorry, 100 something data centers in however many states. That was incorrect. I actually meant to say that about Equinix, because Equinix is that they actually own the data centers, whereas SMCI builds the servers for those centers. Just to kind of clarify that. That being said, looking at the charts here, we are sort of at resistance here on the weekly chart. This actually might, just kind of looking at it. Let's look at the daily here. Eh, you know, I actually might. It looks like you may actually want to wait on this one, I would say. Again, you could nibble and just start a position. That wouldn't hurt. It's not like, but looking at this, it's something that I might short. To be honest with you, not as much as one of the other ones, the one that's coming next. But yeah, it looks like there may be a little bit more downside here. It could really go either way. So hourly chart is, you know, it's actually kind of bullish. So you could start a position here, I guess, if you want, but I would just nibble. Um, and again, a position for a long-term hold. We're going to hold on to these for at least a year, unless they end up like a couple of the other stocks where you'll see. But the plan is to hold these for long term, and to outperform the market here. So I'm looking at over the next decade. I want you know uh, over. I want these stocks to double in the next 10 years minimum. Okay, so really, I want them to double in the next 5 to 7 years. Would be an ideal situation, but we'll see. Um, So the next one, Arista Networks, ANET. So if you guys have heard of Cisco systems, they're very similar. So what Arista does is they build switches for the cloud. Getting back to the metaverse, AI, data. So they actually build the switching equipment for Ethernet, um, and that type of thing. Um, Now Arista, this one actually, I'll start at the weekly like I did on the other ones. Look at this stock, man. I mean, it just obviously it took off. We're uh, obviously trading at the top of the channel here. We've broken out past past resistance there. Um, Now the MACD is starting to curl a little bit here on the weekly. We're getting towards the overbought on the weekly. Um, let's look at the daily. Maybe it'll give us a little more clarity here. So yeah, if you look here, and this is why I am actually thinking about taking a short, but I think we're going to short Cisco actually. But Arista and Cisco, Cisco's obviously there was also a big legal battle between these two, but Cisco's the more well known, the more established company, but Arista, in some ways, has the better product and cheaper product. I do like Arista a little bit better over Cisco, but and I believe Arista is more of a software solutions or heavier on the software solutions side. Then Cisco has a little bit more of a advantage in the hardware. So um, personally, for me, as the longer term play between Cisco and Arista, if you have to choose, you can buy both too. But I like Arista's growth potential a little bit more. But if you look at the MACD here, our MACD is curling over, about to cross on the daily. We have some bearish divergence here. We're trading at the top of the channel. We're at resistance here. I'm looking to take this short. I'm not. I don't want this video to run forever, so I'm not gonna. The Cisco chart looks extremely similar, so I would wait to add to Arista till it comes back to earth a little bit here. Um, and then here, let's look at the hourly chart here. It kind of zooms in a little bit about what I was saying. Now the MACD looks a little bit better on the hourly chart here. I think Cisco's looks a little worse, which is why I was saying think I'm going to short Cisco over Arista. But you could get a MACD crossover here. We're getting back towards oversold on the hourly, so coming up towards the bottom of this channel. So 200-day moving average here. At the bottom of the channel could be used as support possibly, but we could fall down to that level. So I don't know. We'll see what happens here, but this may be a good place to add some Arista starter position somewhere around here, somewhere around this 1 to 88, which honestly isn't too far off. So Um, so that's ANET, and again, I like ANET over Cisco. So that kind of sums up the technology, or the traditional technology, metaverse, semiconductors, chips, that sort of thing. Data centers, extremely bullish on all that stuff. I'm not the only one, believe me. Um, but you know, obviously we've taken little bit of a step back here. Um, and so I would just slowly scale into these positions here. Um, if maybe put a little bit of money each week, and I mean a little bit, you don't have to put a lot, but um, that'll kind of help give you uh, it's a long term position, right? So you're not looking to like just uh, you know buy this here today and then sell it here in a couple months. This isn't these types of plays. You guys know I do those types of plays. This is like the opposite of that. So that ends the tech part of that. These last two stocks, I want to give a shout out to Dustin 740 in the Discord for putting us on them. Um, and the last two are Novo Nordisk NVO and Eli Lilly. They're both pharmaceutical companies, big pharmaceutical companies, and both have some pretty, game changing. Uh, I guess I think they're called GLP-1 receptor uh, medications and treatments. So, um, out of NVO and uh, Lilly, I like Lilly better. And the reason being is because they have a edible. So, if you guys don't know, Novo Nordisk has uh, sorry, I'm gonna butcher this now. Um, Ozempic and Wegovy. So they have Ozempic, I believe, is their diabetic medication, semaglutide, and Wegovy, I believe, I might have these backwards, is their weight loss medication. So they've found you lose like 20% of body fat, or 20% of body weight. Um, and they're both the same drug. They're just given in different doses and for different reasons. One's for diabetes, and one is for weight loss. uh, Eli Lilly has, I'm going to butcher this, tirzepatide, which is Manjaro. And Manjaro has been shown to um, decrease weight over 25%, body fat, body weight, which is incredible. If you think about it. Right now, that is only approved for diabetes, but again, it's the same medication. It's and they're basically just waiting for FDA approval for weight loss. Now, all of these drugs are in extremely high demand, and when I say extremely high demand, um, if you haven't heard of them by now, you know, go ask your wife or your girlfriend, because she has. Um, they're almost like a miracle drug. So on top of that, uh, they have shown to decrease cardiovascular disease. up to 20% in some patients. And again, the reason I like Lilly, so a lot of those are I think they're all injections, if I'm not mistaken. Um, but Lilly has, and Novo may too, but I think Lilly's is further down the pipeline and more effective, if I believe, um, if I'm not mistaken. But they have an oral um, medication, so I don't. First of all, I hate needles. I don't want to fucking stick myself with a needle if I don't have to, and I think most people don't want to. Now, I'll pop a pill, no problem. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people would much rather pop a pill. Um, Wait, pop a pill and I can lose up to 25% of my weight? Um, Hello. In America, in the most obese country, and the most uh, history of obese people, it's like the money, you can't make it fast enough for the money to print. You know what I mean? So I do like Lily over NVO, but you can buy both because you never know which is going to be the winner. So Ozempic is more popular. Obviously, it's very popular in Hollywood. Um, but Manjaro is actually the quote unquote better medication with better results. And again, they have that oral um, coming down the pipeline. So I'm just gonna go over these two charts as well very quickly. Again, look at these, just straight rockets. Um, uh, so we're obviously in an uptrend. We're obviously at the top of the channel. We're extremely, I mean, money has just been pouring into uh, both these companies. Both these charts look very, very similar. I think Lily's is a little better, and again, for good reason. Um, Now, how much higher are these going to go? We're up almost 30% on Eli Lilly since we alerted this. Uh, when a couple months ago, maybe not even, but uh, I mean, this thing is just a rocket ship, um, and it's because of this. They're miracle drugs. I mean, they really are. Um, so, for those of you that are invested in Lilly, you want to take some money off the table. uh, I applaud you. It's smart. I think it's a smart thing to do. Start taking profits. You can always buy back in. Um, we do have some bearish divergence here. Look, we're over. So I mean, look at the RSI. Jeez, RSI is at 87. You know what I mean? MACD is just off the charts on the weekly for Lilly. I'm sure NVO is the same. Here's a weekly on NVO. I mean, they're off the charts. Daily chart, pretty much the same thing. Top of the channel. Every time these start to level off, something happens. Earnings come up, and more money just piles in. I'm not going to say it's going to continue to be like that. It's obviously not. There's obviously going to be, times where we come back to earth, and that's when I would start to load up on this. In the meantime, you can start a position if you really want. If you didn't, 30% ago, you fucked up. But you know, there, there's a whole lot more money to be made with this stock. The sky's the limit. The drug does you know what they say it does. I know people who use it personally and have gotten the results. It is the real deal. Um, you know, I, they can kind of charge what they want for this, to an extent. So now, how fast can they make it? They're going to have production issues, copycat issues. All this stuff's going to come into play. But at the end of the day, and obviously you're going to have you have other um, competitors who are going to try and uh, take market share, right? But I think these are your two big dogs here, Lily and NVO, and I give the edge to Lily if you have to choose one. So, um, but again, I wouldn't go in heavy here. I would wait. I would wait for a pullback to go heavy. You can start a position like if you I just want to start a position, long term position, and then I'll average down. Completely fine. On any of these stocks, by the way. But most of these have had a hell of a year, and really need to come back to earth a little bit before I would start pouring in a ton of money. So I hope that's clear in the video. I don't want you to go in and throw 100% of money in any of these stocks right now. You can start a small position. It's something I want you to continue to slowly add to as we dip. And really, with these stocks, you want these to dip as much as possible, as much as you can get, because we haven't gotten shit over the past year. So that's all I got, guys. These are the 6 stocks that I think everyone should have in their portfolios. I've got all 6 in mine. Obviously, you can have your Google, you can have your Tesla, your Amazon, your Apple, your Microsoft, your Nvidia, your AMD. But I would also have these in there as well. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. A little longer, but about 5 minutes per stock. I don't think that's too bad. So hope you guys enjoyed it. And when I think that there is more content that's worth making a video about to share, I'll share it. But I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to keep this here premium for a little while just so you guys get a head start on these. And I'll make this public maybe way further down the road. But in the meantime, appreciate you guys supporting the premium group. This is going to be exclusively for you guys. And appreciate you guys watching.